Hi, I'm Barbara from Bee's Kitchen and Garden, and today's recipe is quick and easy and delicious jambalaya. Let's get the ingredients together and start cooking. For my quick and easy jambalaya recipe, these are the ingredients you'll need. An onion, which we will chop up and dice. Same thing, a green pepper, diced green pepper. 1 cup of long grain rice, some olive oil, a package of shrimp, and this is, I believe, a 1-pound package. Some canned diced tomatoes, pre-cooked hot sausages, Old Bay seasoning, salt, pepper, and chicken broth. Now let's get started. First, we're going to chop up the onion and the green pepper and saute them in the frying pan in 1 tablespoon of olive oil. The onion is all chopped and ready to go, so I'm going to put it in the pan with the olive oil. I've already started heating this, and what we're going to do is saute the onion and the chopped green bell pepper until they're soft. So I'm putting the onion in there, then I'll chop the green pepper and add it to the onion. Ooh, this is going to look and smell delicious. I love sauteing onion. It has such a great aroma. I'm just finishing up chopping the green pepper, or dicing it. Cut it into slices, and now I'm cross-cutting it so that it's diced. We'll add this to the onion and let them both saute a bit while they get soft. So let's add this to our onion. This provides great flavor and some beautiful color. Okay, while this is going on, I'm going to start thawing the shrimp. Now, when you use shrimp, the best way to thaw shrimp, first of all, always buy it frozen. And it's fresh frozen on site, so you want to always buy it frozen. The thing about shrimp, you probably know they have numbers on the front of the package, and that relates to how many shrimp make a pound of the size that are in your package. And so I usually get the larger shrimp, the 26-35, but any size shrimp will work. All right, we're putting the shrimp into a bowl with cold water for about 12 minutes, which will help it thaw. And this is going to happen while we continue working on the rest of our dish. So do stir your onions and green peppers. Mix them so that they get soft. And looks like they need about another 2 or 3 minutes. The onions and the peppers are looking great. Time to add the rest of the ingredients. So first, let's start with 1.5 cups of chicken broth. Add to that the diced tomatoes. We're talking 1/2 can of diced tomatoes with the juice. Just spoon it in until you figure it's about 1/2 can. This is, I think, a 14.5 ounce can. So it's up to you when you think you get to 1/2. That looks like about 1/2 to me. And I'll just confirm it's a 14.5 ounce can. So 1/2 can. Then the spices. Well, let's stir this. Now we have a nice watery, well, it's broth mixture. And we're going to add our rice. Nope, I'm going to add the spices first. It's better to mix in the spices. We have a teaspoon of Old Bay seasoning. This is a seasoning I use a lot. And here we go, a teaspoon of Old Bay, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and 1/2 teaspoon of pepper. Now, jambalaya was actually created in southern Louisiana in the 1700s. And it's a mixture of all the different cultures that are there at that time. Okay, stirring in our 3 spices, salt, pepper, and Old Bay, and the rice. Now, as we get all these flavors mixed, we're going to turn our heat up because we want this to come to a boil. We'll boil it, simmer for about 2 minutes, then we'll leave the lid on and let it just sit for 20 minutes while the rice soaks up all the flavoring. So stir this really well. Jambalaya is made up of mainly rice, a protein, meat or fish, vegetables, and spices. So cooks can add in all sorts of different items depending on their preferences and what they like. Okay, our rice is in, and we need to bring this to a boil. So let's cover it up and let's get it boiling. Our mixture is now boiling. So I'll let it simmer this way for 2 minutes. Then I will move it off of the heat and let it sit for 20 minutes while the rice absorbs all of the liquid and the spices. Makes it great. What makes this recipe, or at least some of the items that make this recipe so quick and easy, is that while the rice is soaking up the flavors and turning tender, we have our pot here almost boiling to cook our shrimp. I'm also slicing pre-cooked sausage. Now, you can use any sausage you like. You may want to cook a favorite sausage that you have that comes uncooked. I like to use the cooked sausage. It's a chicken sausage with peppers in it that I think tastes great. I use 2 pieces of sausage, 2 sausages. So right now, let's get this going, which is boiling water and starting to cook our shrimp. It's been 15 minutes or so and it's ready to go. You can tell because it's flexible. The water is boiling, so I'm adding the shrimp to the boiling water to cook them all the way through. You can see our pan with the rice and the vegetables is doing well. You can see that the rice is starting to increase in volume. One very important step, once you put the lid on and it has simmered and you're letting it sit, do not take the lid off. To get some really good rice, you need to just leave it alone. A good 20 minutes and everything will be soaked in, but don't take off the lid and test it. And this is the same thing I do when I'm just cooking white rice. Once you have that lid on and it is soaking up the broth or the water, don't take the lid off until 20 minutes later when it's all soaked in. As you can see, I've also been busy while this is going on, slicing our 2 sausages. I like the chicken chipotle sausage, as I said before. If you like an Italian hot sausage, an Italian sweet sausage, use whatever sausage you like. Now, in the 1700s, when they were making jambalaya, it is thought that a lot of times this dish started with the Spanish who were trying to recreate paella, but they didn't have all the ingredients. And then you have the West African slave influence, you have the German influence with the sausage. The Native Americans knew all the native spices in Louisiana, and they probably contributed the cayenne pepper, some of which is in the Old Bay seasoning. So it's a mixture of many cultures, and of course, flavor it with spices as you wish. You can make your own jambalaya based on how you like for it to taste. One hint, and I know those of you who like to boil shrimp and cook shrimp a lot will know this already, is that when you're boiling shrimp or cooking shrimp like this, it can get away from you very quickly and foam and boil over. So you sort of have to watch your shrimp once it starts boiling. What we want is we want it to be turning a little pink and to be curled up. I know it sort of normally comes curled anyway. But this is looking very good. I would say another minute or so of boiling and it will be ready. The shrimp is looking ready to me, so I'm going to take my colander over to the sink and stop the boiling, pour the shrimp into the colander. As you can see, I already have my sausage ready to go, so the shrimp and the sausage will be ready. We're just waiting another few minutes for the 20 minutes of the rice soaking in that flavor to be finished. Then we'll add it all together. I actually let the shrimp sit in the hot water for a few more minutes until I was sure the rice had its 20 minutes to soak in all the flavor. Then I added the shrimp and I added the sliced sausage. So now I'm trying to mix everything together and get it fully mixed in. Mixing, mixing, mixing. Then I'm going to turn on the heat and simmer it for just a little bit longer, maybe 2 to 3 minutes, and it will be ready to serve. One delicious fact about this dish is it seems to be even more delicious the second day, when all the spices and everything have been in the fridge overnight and they've soaked in flavor even more. This has been warming on low heat for about 3 minutes, stirring occasionally and warming up everything together. Going to turn off the heat and serve up our dish. Shrimp, sausage, veggies, rice, and garnished with lettuce from our garden. Nice fresh lettuce. A little oil and vinegar on the lettuce will go great with our jambalaya. Enjoy.